Hey, how's it going? After several months of hiatus, Boruto has finally returned, in the form of a sequel manga to Blue Vortex. This chapter opens up with a bang, very exciting moments and a few mysteries scattered throughout the chapter. I'll be going over the important points inside of the chapter and giving my initial thoughts on specific scenes. With that being said, let's get started. I just wanted to quickly talk about the chapter 1 cover. I think it's great. The cover is a clear call back to chapter 65 of Boruto Naruto Next Generations, where Naruto was getting ready to face Code, which also serves as foreshadowing for what occurs later on in this chapter with Boruto. Boruto has the same look in his eye as Naruto did, but unlike his father, he currently has the power to back up his determination. This cover expresses to me that although Naruto is gone, his son is carrying the same energy not only from him, but from Sasuke as well, a true Shadow Hokage in the making. We open up the chapter with Sarada talking to Hokage Shikamaru, trying to convince him that Boruto is innocent. I knew after 3 years that a new Hokage would be taking Naruto's place, considering that everybody thinks that Naruto is dead, but I wasn't expecting Shikamaru. I will be honest with you guys, I wasn't a huge fan of this decision. A previous Hokage like Kakashi or Tsunade could have easily taken over, but I do understand where the writers were going with this. Shikamaru has been around for a majority of the events in Boruto, and has interacted with a lot of major characters. It is more practical that the new Hokage taking Naruto's place already knows mostly everything going on, rather than wasting time building that character up and catching them up on the story. It has already been foreshadowed by characters like Temari and Asuma Sarutobi that Shikamaru would make an excellent Hokage. I find it weird. While Shikamaru is very intelligent, that was never really his dream. I guess desperate times gave him more incentive. Even though Kakashi is not in the manga, a lot of what I said in my Kakashi theory video still holds up, but now that information could be applied to Shikamaru. I respect Sarada for sticking up for both Boruto and Sasuke, but her argument was a little weak here. She already knows about omnipotence due to her conversation with Sumire later in the chapter, so why doesn't she bring up this information to Shikamaru that Eida is capable of using such a technique? Shikamaru already knows how dangerous Eida and Daemon truly are, so he could at least consider Sarada's claims. It's just weird that she doesn't bring that up, but rather just says to blindly believe her. What's interesting is that Shikamaru calls out Sarada for her rebellious attitude, and that if she keeps this up, she will never become a Chunin at this rate. So Sarada in the manga is a genin after all, which kind of strengthens my theory on the Boruto anime and manga being different timelines, because clearly in the anime she is a Chunin. In fact, in the anime, Naruto was the one who promoted her to Chunin. Sarada throws Naruto's example in Shikamaru's face, that even though Naruto was still a genin, he continued to believe in Sasuke and saved Sasuke from the darkness and still was able to become Hokage, and that she's going to follow Naruto's example, not Shikamaru's. I really respected her for sticking up for these three characters. So we move on to the next scene and we get reintroduced to Kawaki. But before actually seeing Kawaki, we get a glimpse of both Naruto and Hinata stuck in the Daikokuten dimension, unconscious 3 years later. It's very sad. Kawaki took 3 whole years from them, and they didn't get to see Himawari grow up to become a teenager or help guide Boruto during this difficult time in his life. And Kawaki also comes off as very creepy in this scene. He stares at them almost like possessions rather than people. And I personally find it truly despicable. He owes Naruto and Hinata everything. They took him into their family and accepted them. He repays them by betraying Boruto and sealing them away against their will. He needs to pay for his actions, and I suspect he will, with plenty of evidence supporting this throughout the chapter. Give it a few more chapters and you'll start to see where I'm coming from. Karma is the appropriate name for his power because he will receive his actual karma for his selfishness. The next scene cuts to Sarada and Sumire, so we get to see Sumire's appearance for the first time in 3 years. It's okay. nothing really spectacular. She looks like she's wearing a uniform and is about to attend a private school. But putting that to the side, Sarada and Sumire are all they have. They are the only two non-Otsutsuki and non-blood related characters to Eida to not be affected by omnipotence. But it's weird the conversation they carry out in this scene, talking about how Kawaki is being viewed as the true son of Naruto and that nobody believes them and thinks they're crazy. This really shouldn't be a conversation they should have because obviously 3 years have gone by. They already know this information. So honestly, this scene comes off as a catch-up scene for people who haven't, read or watched Boruto in a while and then really want to get catched up on what's really going on with this new series. So I understand the purpose of the scene, but in story, it makes no sense. Sumire and Sarada decide to pay Eida a visit after their conversation. I was expecting Eida and Daemon to look older, but oddly enough, they look the same. Which is why I suspected they weren't actually human, but maybe some humanoid alien similar to the Otsutsuki. Either that or Amato's modifications just made them age significantly slower than an average human. Eida wonders why Sumire and Sarada are not affected by omnipotence. And if they are immune from the reality changes, are they also immune from Eida's love charm? They decide to deny being immune from Eida's love charm out of fear of Daemon viewing them as an actual threat. Recall, Daemon is the strongest character in the series, so if he wants somebody taken out at this point, he can with very little opposition. He may end up siding with Kawaki, because he may view Sarada and Sumire as a mutual enemy simply for the fact that they could kill Eida. So we get to see Mitsuki's design for the first time. He had the most predictable design of every single character. Mitsuki is a clone created by Orochimaru, and the older version of him already exists, his brother Log. So I suspected Log was what Mitsuki would eventually grow up to look like. Kawaki is very paranoid of Mitsuki. After all, before omnipotence, Mitsuki wanted to kill Kawaki more than anything. Kawaki, being the scum that he is, decided to take advantage of Mitsuki's hatred and turn him into a weapon to use against Boruto. He tells Mitsuki to not sneak up on him and that he is acting like a creep, which is very hypocritical considering he was staring at Naruto and Hinata unconscious in another dimension. Kawaki receives word that Code's claw marks have been spotted in the village, and like Amato predicted in the earlier chapters, Kawaki has gained the ability to fly and leaves the area to attend to Code's claw marks. Mitsuki views Kawaki as the sun who illuminates his moon. A small part of him even starts to question that. In reality, the audience knows that Kawaki is the false sun, actually being an eclipse that blocks the sun. Had Boruto been in Kawaki's position, Boruto would have asked Mitsuki to come with him to attend to Code, but Kawaki believes Ishiki's power is enough and that he can handle everything on his own. We move forward with an older Himawari and Chocho sparring with each other. While Boruto is the spitting image of Naruto, Himawari truly looks like both of her parents, and it's great that she grew her hair out just like Hinata did in Naruto Shippuden. She is an official shinobi now, and I really believe she will be the character who defeats Daemon and sets the bar a lot higher for how strong a character can get in the series. As for Shikadai, Chocho, and Inojin, I think Inojin looks the most different, and overall I think their designs are tolerable, but not great. Shikadai is impressed by Kawaki's little sister and is commenting that she's really talented. Himawari ends up talking to Ino Shikacho, and she tells them that she actually wants to help Boruto. Shikadai is confused by this because he believes that Boruto killed the 7th Hokage and betrayed Kawaki. Himawari disagrees with this notion. She may be under omnipotence, but she suspects there's a lot more to the story. She of all people knows that Boruto, who she currently thinks is her adopted brother, wouldn't do this. She even mentions the time that Kawaki protected Naruto and herself from Delta's attack back in chapter 35. Although in this new reality, she thinks it was Boruto that protected her. If he would go as far as to risk his life to save Naruto, why would he kill Naruto out of nowhere? Especially since Himawari knows they were on very good terms. Himawari even says she feels her father is alive somewhere. This scene is so important because she may indirectly give Boruto more allies in Inoshikacho and obviously herself. We cut to the next scene where Kawaki finds Code's claw marks and uses Sukuna Hikona to shrink it to a point where Code cannot appear through it. A tactic he learned from Boruto chapter 66. Kawaki is the perfect counter to Code out of everyone in the series. Kawaki works with the shinobi and ends up finding another claw mark on a random leaf shinobi. I was expecting Kawaki to call the shinobi a fool and look down on him, but he acted pretty calm. So this makes chapter 1 of Boruto Naruto Next Generations more confusing. He declares the age of shinobi is over, yet he's working with shinobi here. He is actually being quite pleasant to them, not really showing disdain like he did in the other chapters. Yes, he has a mutual enemy in Code, and yes, he's protecting, Naruto's legacy, but why would he destroy the Leaf Village later? Code's Ten-Tails armies start entering the village, and Kawaki quickly engages and ends up saving the life of a female villager. Keep in mind, Kawaki did not save this woman because it is the right thing to do. He saved her because Naruto would have saved her in his position. Naruto views everyone in the Leaf Village as family, so Kawaki ends up saving the villager because in his mind, that's like saving a part of Naruto. He uses language that could potentially blow his cover later on. Follow the orders from the shinobi, speaking like he isn't a shinobi, even though Boruto pre-omnipotence was absolutely a genin at this time. Someone is going to catch on if he keeps this up. But I can also imagine that taking Boruto's identity and living in the village for 3 years has softened him up a little bit, because Kawaki was not rude for this entire chapter. Code interacts with Sarada for the first time in the series. Despite never meeting before, he already knows who she is. Perhaps he learned about her during his time with Eida. Code cuts to the chase and says he's there for Boruto. Sarada says he isn't around and hasn't been for 3 whole years. Little does Code know, his real goal has always been Kawaki, but as shown in chapter 80, he was affected by omnipotence. Code expresses that he knows Boruto is gone and he has been chasing him for 2 whole years and that Boruto is probably sick of him at this point, which makes a lot more sense on why Code wouldn't have attacked the village sooner. It didn't seem to me that Code would wait 3 whole years. It seemed like he would be ready for action almost immediately. So Boruto and Sasuke had to face a stronger version of Code while on the run and training. That is absolutely insane. There has to be an anime arc going over this or some flashback scenes because that sounds like a story worth being told. The Leaf Village was just a ploy to lure Boruto out. But here's the thing about that. If Boruto is in Kawaki's place and is just an outsider and he ran away after allegedly killing the Hokage, why would he come back if Code attacks the village? It doesn't make sense if the village wants to kill Boruto as well. We need this addressed in the anime or a side chapter on what's been going on between Boruto and Code. As Code is about to attack, Boruto makes his official debut in the chapter. He does this in the most coolest way possible. He lands his foot on Code's face, specifically where Code has his new scar, and this is a big deal. Code at the end of Boruto Part 1 was the second strongest character in the series, and the fact that Boruto casually arrived and landed on his face tells us almost everything we need to know about base Boruto. He is no joke, and he is a lot colder than he was before. And unlike Kawaki, he saves Sarada because he genuinely cares about life and saving a person's life. To add insult to injury, Boruto even mocks Code, saying that women want nothing to do with him because of his ridiculous statements and ideas. He is without a doubt mocking Code's feelings for Eida caused by omnipotence. Boruto looks really cool, and I love how Sarada and Code's Ten-Tails soldiers are just shocked how he made his entrance. Like, they're just stunned. I also love how Boruto doesn't even acknowledge the Ten-Tails soldiers, like they're beneath him. I definitely predicted this was how Boruto and Sarada were going to reunite, and I didn't expect it to be this soon in the series. I was probably expecting this to be around chapter 10, but I'm all for it. Unfortunately, the chapter ends with Boruto and Code staring each other down and Kawaki sensing Boruto's return. A three-way battle between Karma users is about to begin. Perhaps this is why the Leaf Village gets destroyed. I suppose we'll have to wait until next month to officially find out.